Hey, welcome to my February art business vlog. It is a super chatty one, so it's on the longer side, but there's tons of really interesting updates about, well, actual plot twists, big decisions made for my business, progress made on some of those goals, and well, what were those goals? Here are the ones for February, and this vlog will show you whether I accomplished those or not. I hope you enjoy it. Let me know in the comments what is your favorite part about this vlog. Let's go. On February 8th, things started to get delivered for one of my new goals, and that is to build out a flower garden. So we'll see how that goes over the next few months, but I was really excited for the plants to arrive. Let me get settled in here. I'm about to start some artwork, some painting that I'll show you, but before I do, I wanted to catch you up on the last few days. I did not vlog everything that happened, so let me just tell you about it. It's been a month, man. It's only, wow, February 11th, but it's been a bit of a downer. Honestly, January was incredible, and even the first few days of February, I hit the ground running. I was super productive and inspired, and things were going my way. And then just flatlined. It all flatlined because my entire family just got ill, the whole house. And it took, I don't know, I feel like it really put me back a full week. So it's February 11th, and I'm just starting back up into planning for the month and really getting going on anything. I do have an artist chat today. We're talking about art licensing, which is such a fascinating topic, right? I'm super interested in that. Maybe not immediately, but long term, it is one of the topics that I think might be right for my art business. So super interested to hear from these experienced artists. So that is going my way. And yeah, I think it's going to be a good one. So by the time this video is up, I'll link it up here. You can go watch it if you haven't yet. But other than that, it's been kind of a month of not making much progress, and actually some of the things that I thought were moving in the right direction completely also flatlining. So there's two things. I'll show you the one that hurt a little less first. And that's, I was going to do those miniature rose paintings, and I didn't tell you about the concept yet because if I was going to do it, I really wanted to do like the full kind of reveal and marketing and just have it be a fun event for everyone to follow along as I did each little miniature painting. But I think that is not going to happen at this time, at least not how I had envisioned it. So I wanted to do 24 roses, 24 miniature roses, potentially paired with 24 bees on the backside. And I wanted to give a fact about flowers and saving the bees, and then have those framed individually, have custom gorgeous packaging made that I had found. I had a beautiful idea for that. And then I was going to do like a launch and release them all on the same day and sell them for a certain amount that I had calculated, including a small donation to a kind of Save the Bees Foundation. So that was my idea. I really wanted to give myself the challenge of drawing something repeatedly, and also kind of learning how to build that momentum in a shop and social media. And I was really excited about the idea, but the frames that I had got are totally different than what I expected them to be, the exact sizing of them. And honestly, the biggest thing is that they're handmade, which is a beautiful thing, but it doesn't at all fit the aesthetic that I was going for. They're a little wonky, and I think it's distracting from the paintings. The paintings are so delicate and fine, and then you have these kind of, like, they're just not delicate at all, the frames, and I think it's a mismatch. And I wouldn't be able to sell it for the price I would need to be able to make a profit. And it just, they're not what I envisioned. So I'll show you what came. So they look something like this. Let me get them closer to you. There we go. And then I could even have like 2 paintings back to back, like I mentioned. But yeah, the clasp doesn't shut very tightly. So it's definitely going to affect the watercolor, right? It's a very unstable medium. So you need something that's going to protect it better than this. You can see how the frame, like it's not shutting properly. I hope you can see. There's like a little slit there. It's just not lining up well. And then you can see how these 2 sides are not aligned properly, right? So it's just kind of, it's a little messy, and it's okay for it to be imperfect, but then it does not fit with my branding or my vision for this launch at all. So I was pretty disappointed when they came because this isn't what I had envisioned. I'll show you the other one, which is supposed to be a really shiny gold, and it's also like pretty tarnished. I don't think it looks good at all. Yeah, see, and they won't even really stay shut. Yeah, I can't even get it to go in right now. So yeah, I mean, you see where I was going with this, right? Though with the bees and this shape. But yeah, I just don't think it's going to happen. And I have to say, I'm quite disappointed in it. Nothing against the frames. I think they are beautiful, just for a different purpose, not for what I was looking for. So this project for now is completely on hold. I don't know if I'll ever pick it back up, but with these frames, it is not going to work. And so it was kind of a costly test. I think it cost me probably about 40 euros to get those shipped from the UK, including the price of the frames. And that's kind of a bummer because I don't have that big a budget to do this product testing. But I am so grateful that I took a step back and ordered a sample instead of going in and purchasing 24 at a time, because I knew that these were selling fast. Other frames that I had wanted from the same shop had already sold out by the time I decided I wanted them. And so I was so nervous to buy them all, but I took a step back, I controlled myself, and I was like, okay, really buy 2 in the different colors, see if you like them, and then you can go all in. And if they're sold out, then it's just not meant to be. And thank goodness I did. It would have been significantly more money down the drain. And so I'm glad I took that step back. But it does make me a little sad that that vision is not going to come to life. And then I just take a sip of coffee for this next one. We also emailed the manufacturer for that additional company I was trying to build with a friend in the baby product space. And in the last studio vlog, you heard me say that, like, yes, we have a great product idea, a second one after the first one didn't work out in sampling, and we're going to get some quotes and things like that. But in the end, both her and I decided it was not actually, like, we were trying to force something. We were trying to create a product for my artwork. And we really wanted to work with this manufacturer. That was honestly one of the sticking points, because they were an incredible company and these wonderful people. And it seemed like it was meant to be. And I really, really wanted to work with them and have this relationship with them. They almost felt like friends. They were so wonderful. And even more so after meeting them in person at the fair. And that's not often an experience you get in business. And I feel like betting on people, that's key. You got to have the right people and you can achieve anything. And unfortunately, though, we both decided, we are forcing it. It's not right. It's not the right product. And so we heavy-heartedly had to just tell them to stop the whole process. We're not going to be sampling anymore. It's not working. And so my business partner and I are also going to meet and discuss next steps. I'll update you in a few days in the vlog. So, all that being said, yeah, I'm just kind of regrouping. There's some feelings of excitement for what can come next, but also a bit of sadness and mourning for the ideas that did not play out and the vision that I had. So with that being said, I'm going to continue to do some painting now, and I'll show you and tell you a little what I'm doing it for. I have been wanting to get a newsletter set up. I know it's so important, and I'm actually really looking forward to creating one and sending it regularly. And that is what I sat down here for. I was actually painting what is going to be the name, the header for my newsletter, because I am trying to be more consistent and really build out a beautiful branding that will work for my website redesign. It'll work for my future shop, for my newsletter, and so forth. That painting, you'll see in a few seconds, did continue to the next day, but first I went to another trade fair to meet with my business partner and discuss what we were going to do. We went there because I had another idea that I wanted to propose. So I have barely been able to do anything for the art business so far this month, and it is February 18th. Can you believe it? There's about 1 week left in February. So wow, what a difference to January and December, where it was just really going well. But finally, today I can start vlogging here and I can share 2 updates that I think are pretty exciting. And one is definitely art business related, and the other one at least 50%. So let's have a look. The first update is that all these beautiful plants keep arriving. I think it's going to be incredible to try to build out a flower garden for myself and my art. And the second thing is super exciting too, which is tea towel samples finally came. I've been working on a project to get some product for an online shop launch, basically, that I've been talking about for the last vlog or 2, and some of the samples have arrived. Let's have a peek together. I think it might actually look good. Ooh. Oh my goodness. I think it's pretty nice. Ooh. So first impression, the material is really nice, really soft and thick. Oh, I think this is a go. Yes, I still need to make some tweaks to the designs, to the artwork, but in general, the way that this product feels and my artwork on it, I think it's a go. I am liking these more and more, the more I look at them. So pretty, look, 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 look. I'm really excited because this means that, yes, I'm going to be able to create a product that my artwork looks good on and open a shop. It might still take a few weeks / months, but progress is being made and it's going to happen. With those good vibes, on the next day, I set up this tiny little scene to basically create some imagery, get some photographs for all those things that I mentioned before. So yes, the newsletter that I want to start, I'm also trying to redesign my website, and eventually I want to have an online shop. So I would love to hire a photographer to get really great photography of my brand, myself as an artist, the product, and so forth. But this is what I can do at this point. So I really enjoyed getting a few good shots. Wish there were more, but it is a start. You see a tiny bit of a preview here of the scene that I had set. All right, so this is my little setup for the night. I have my art materials, my iPad, where I'm gonna be watching the, I guess it's like a live stream, a class, the workshop. Some nights paintings are great, and other nights it just doesn't work. So I did these, I don't know, earlier in the week, Monday maybe, and I actually had a really long span of time that I was able to focus on for painting, but they were just kind of like maybe one of them is good enough, but I feel like I can do better, so I'm gonna try again. First things first, I have to bring all these little plants in because, well, I think, let's just summarize it as I am a total novice at gardening and I bought them too early in the season and it's gonna freeze again overnight and they won't make it if they're outside. Here's the first load down in the basement. I couldn't find another place that isn't too warm, but it is very sunless, so hopefully it'll survive down here until the weather gets a little warmer again in a few days. Cross your fingers for me. I'm so glad I am doing that workshop, but it's super important for me to also proceed with painting and making progress for that second tea towel design, because I want to have 3 done before I can order everything and launch a shop. Okay, so this is what I had done earlier in the week. Those are components for the second design, and I just wasn't happy with them. I knew I could do better. Sometimes my watercolor gets too layered, too dense. It's not delicate enough, and it loses what I love about watercolor. So I thought, you know what, these are not going to work for me. Let's try again. And look at this start. Lots of progress made today on the future flower garden project. Granted, I did none of the work yet. With this house, there's a gardener that maintains the garden, and so they were asked to prep this little area here. You can see it's like behind the table there, which is a seating area, and that is where in the next step I'm going to go and hopefully plant the flowers more or less successfully. I am so excited to learn more about gardening and figure out how to plant all those beautiful flowers in March. For now though, on February 25th, I continued with the paintings for tea towel design number 2, and I am so happy with the general direction of this one so far. Sometimes painting just works out for me, and this was one of those days. I also wanted to catch you up on a big decision basically that was made. So I had mentioned to you that my business partner and I were going to meet to make a decision on whether we would proceed with the company, and actually in February we did, and we decided to shut the whole thing down. So I'll tell you a little more about that here in a few minutes, but first I wanted to show you on February 26th, I went out to gather some more reference images for tea towel design 2 and maybe 3. Spring is finally almost here, and with that I couldn't resist, even though it was minus degrees, grabbing a bit of gelato from the local gelato machine, because it was in my face. I had to, right? So what would you pick? I picked stracciatella. And it was so good. Hey, it's the morning of February 28th, which means the month is done. And I know in a way that those time markers are arbitrary, but it is important for me to reflect at the end of the month, because I set those goals for the first quarter of the year and break them down then into like month chunks and weeks, days, that kind of thing. So how did the month go? It went okay. I came off of January, which was such an incredible month. Just feeling like motivated and things were going to keep going in the same trajectory, but that did not happen. I explained why in this video already. It just kind of piled on top of each other. And so given all that, given that that was reality, and I really only was able to focus on art business tasks again with about a week and a half or so of the month to go, I think I turned it around. Am I where I had hoped to be originally when I made my plan in January? No, I'm not. I am a little behind. Since I adjusted some of the goals, which was part of my goal, so it was okay to try out a few projects and then either decide to proceed with them or stop them completely. But because I did that, things shifted a little, but there are a few things that I had set my mind to at the end of January that I did not quite accomplish. And so the biggest one of that did still make progress is my design number 2. I hope you can see it, kind of. There we go. You can see the reflection from my computer. But yeah, so design number 2, I am actually really happy with where it's going, and you can see I've done quite a lot of the paintings, but I haven't finished all, and I actually haven't finalized the sketch for all of them, so I'm not 100% sure exactly which flowers I'm going to use for design 2, so I still need to finish that sketch, do the paintings, and then also the digitizing. I haven't removed the background from each of the flowers. I've done a few, but not all of them. So there's definitely still some work ahead there. My new goal is to get that done by the end of this week. So it's Tuesday, by Sunday to be done with all of that. also an ambitious target, so may or may not happen that way. But the reason I want to do that is then I want to start up design number 3 and ideally have that done by the middle of March to get samples made of all of them and get them out there. So yeah, that's progress made, and I think I need to just be happy with that and not always be so self-critical if I'm not 100% where I wanted to be. So yeah, lots of forward movement, and yeah, you saw the news that I shared about the business I was building with my friend. I'm bummed that we spent, I think like 3/4 of a year or something in ideation, market research. We hired out to do like a brand book. We'd been working with a manufacturer, going back and forth with samples, and we put a lot of heart and soul into it, and time and money. And then we decided that it was best to stop. And I think that's an okay outcome, because you have to experiment, you have to take some risks in life and see where things can go. But it's still a bummer. I would have loved to work with her, and I would have loved to see this project come to fruition. I'll give you a tiny bit of detail on it. So basically what we had started first was, the idea was to use my art and to do like baby muslin swaddles, so big swaddle kind of blankets. And yeah, when we did the printing, we realized that because it was a 2-layer kind of more crinkly fabric, that my artwork looked kind of out of focus. Like all the beautiful detail was lost, and it didn't look quite right. And then we really tried to find an alternative product in the baby product space that we thought might work. And what we had come up with there was a play mat made out of like a thicker filling and soft filling, and again, a fabric cover. But then we realized the price to produce it that way with the fabric, having it custom printed and everything made in Europe, which was our goal, it was too expensive. We really weren't going to be able to make a profit, probably, at least not one that would sustain or, make that effort and the investment worthwhile. And then just because the size is so much bigger than a muslin, we were running into an issue of, okay, then we'd have to start right with a fulfillment warehouse, because we can't, store so many things in our home, et cetera, et cetera. And we decided, okay, we're trying to force this idea. We want it so bad that we're trying to make it work, but it's just not right at this time. And so then we decided to unfortunately walk away from each other in this joint business venture and from the manufacturer, which I really, really loved. Both my friend and the manufacturer are incredible. So it's a bummer. But I still think it's a solid decision, and that was one of the goals. So I still consider it a success that we made a decision, even if the decision is to stop the whole project. Now I can move on more freely and more focused on the products that I want to launch as an artist by myself. And that is also a good outcome versus like keeping investing in something that probably isn't going to work. So then I think I've mentioned to you, Tea-towel sample number 1 is here. Love it. Working on tea-towel design 2. Gonna start on 3, get all those samples made, and hopefully get that done by the end of March, although I really doubt that all the samples will be here by then. And then my second product idea that I'm really playing with is bone china cups. And I love the idea. I just had a call with a German manufacturer yesterday. That's definitely out. It would require an investment of 10,000 euros from me. And that is more than I can and want to invest right now. And so, yes, instead, I am still waiting to hear back from few UK manufacturers, and I hope I get some better options there with lower minimum order quantities and things like that. But I'm not 100% sure if I'm going to do the cups and whether I would wait to launch my shop or I would launch just with the tea towels if I'm going to offer both. So let me know in the comments what you think would be a better approach, whether I should just get the shop up as soon as I can or whether I should wait to have a full range of products, meaning in this case, just 2 complementary products before I launch. Yeah, pros and cons to both, haven't decided. Anyway, so that's been my month. I hope March goes a little better in the sense that it goes more on track to what I'm planning, and that's what I'm going to do tonight is actually plan for the month, because right now I have ideas in my head but nothing formalized, and that never quite seems to work for me. So I really hope you enjoyed this vlog. If you want to catch up on the previous ones, I will link my playlist right here, and I'll see you again in a month for the March vlog. Bye!